Hi there, good people. Welcome back to another episode of the 4Congo year-long initiative. Today, we are going to be talking all about taxes with Mr. Bea, who is going to explain this all to us. Ready, sir?
Yes, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So please start off with telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time of you watching this video. My name is Bea Wabea, and I am originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo, based in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am a professional tax and financial consultant. I do run a firm here in Charlotte, North Carolina called Maximum Solution. And what do I do here is I help people set up their new businesses, but mainly specialize my expertise is around tax preparation for small business owners and individuals.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So let's start off with the most basic question ever. What are taxes? And most importantly, why are they so important? And what happens if we do them wrong or maybe not even do them at all?
Very interesting questions. Now, of course, there's a lot of myth and hear or hearsay about taxes. But to be brief, because this is a short interview, taxes is a government mandate that makes all of us citizens of this country, and most countries, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
to contribute to the development of our society. So the governments have run or published a set of codes or laws imposing on us our civic duty to pay taxes. Now, uh, I'm sure this is what it's pertaining to. This is why I'm here. Now, when you pay your taxes, there's a
Mm-hmm.
there's a department called the Internal Revenue Service.
IRS.
Exactly. Who is also sometimes looked at as we looked at it in a negative way, and we shouldn't. And the reason why I'm saying that is the IRS isn't a law enforcement company who is after people to get their money. Rather, it is a service, meaning it's a department within the Department of Treasury
Mm-hmm.
whose sole job is to just help you prepare your taxes. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it happens that when you pay your taxes, you may have overpaid. And if you overpaid, the Internal Revenue Service is there to try to see if you overpaid, they have to send you a refund. But if you
Mm-hmm.
underpaid, you have to pay what is due to the government because then you just contribute with your share of development. We don't want people to pay less than they're supposed to, but we don't want people to overpay. We simply come in to help you maximize, meaning pay exactly what you just need to pay and not overpay. And that's where comes the basics of I need to pay as less tax as possible. Well, what it really means is you're trying to make sure that you pay what you're supposed to pay and not more than what you're supposed to pay.
Okay, so what is the best way to ensure that we pay as little as possible?
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
so, like, as far as making sure that all of our documents are in order, what does
Mhm.
that essentially look like?
Tax season doesn't just start in February and in April.
Oh,
As
okay.
as you may know or may not know, as I actually introduced earlier, you pay your taxes every year throughout the year from January to December. You
Mhm.
just happen to have 2 months within the new year, which is the first quarter of the year, to report what you paid and what you actually didn't pay. Therefore, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, can now pay you back what they owe you, or you can pay them what you owe them. Most people should be aware of how do the government usually take taxes out of their paychecks. They're supposed to pay taxes if they are small business owners, because small business owners usually what they have to do, they have to go ahead and pay taxes. If they don't
Mhm.
pay taxes throughout the year, they usually pay at the end of the year. But even though they pay at the end of the year, they have to be prepared. That's back to your question. So there's a series of coaching. What I do with my client is I rather coach them throughout the year. And that way, we have documentation. For instance, just to have a specific example, when you get a first job, there's a document called the W 4 that you filled out. That document, the information that you put there determines how tax will be withheld or withhold, I'm sorry, from your pay stub.
Now,
So,
with
go
that
ahead. You
one,
have a
sorry
question?
to interrupt, is that where we put the 1 or the 0?
One, the two, the zero, and yeah, everybody has their theory about that. So now, what does that mean? And of course, if you call HR, which is actually the worst thing to do, by the way, and I've learned it the hard way, they'll be like, okay, put whatever number you want to put in, or you want to put less, you want to pay less tax, just put the highest number. But what does that mean? It means I'm not paying enough taxes. By the end of the year, I have to pay that taxes. Mm-hmm. But the HR lady does not tell you that. Maybe she doesn't care, or he doesn't care, or doesn't just know. So what does the tax professional do with his clients? He sends them a series of educational information that helps the client understand what really is taxes. So when I fill out my W-4, if I put 2, what does that really mean? How much tax are they going to take out? And if they take less tax, for instance, maybe it's because I'm trying to invest money in a business throughout the year, and therefore the profit of that business at the end of the year will be even double. I can advise a customer to put a higher number in the W-4 to get most of their paycheck, to invest it throughout the year, and then pay taxes at the end of the year, still making profit out of it. If I want to throw figures out there, that's me just being very simplistic here. Let's say you make $100,000 a year, and then if you put a normal numbers in the W-4, they will take out 20,000. If they take out 20,000 by the end of the year, because $100,000 still puts you in the bracket of people that deserve earned income credits, you still get your little refund of what, $500 or $1,000. Although that's the 100,000 was just for you to for your audience to understand what I'm trying to convey here. However, you increase your exemption in the W-4, that number that you were talking about, 1, 2, 3, 4, you went all the way to 9. So therefore, they don't take 20,000. They even take nothing, or they just take 1,000. Well, what happened essentially is, by the end of the year, the government, number one, sees that they gave you a lot of money, meaning they didn't give you a lot of money. They didn't take enough tax out of you, and you made a lot of money. So therefore, they assume that you're good. And when time comes to pay, you will be able to pay. And it will be shooting yourself in the leg if you just increase that number and think that the IRS will just leave you alone. That's where you end up having this bad conspiracy theory about the IRS is after you for your money. No, they're not after you for your money. They're after you for your duly, if I may put it that way, contribution. Because just like everybody else pays taxes, you're supposed to pay your taxes.
Absolutely. Wow, we have talked about so much today. But before we leave, what is your biggest advice to someone in need of help regarding taxes?
Okay, and the key word is in need of help. We live in a very different times now where people are self-taught and people can actually go online and try to do their own taxes. Not only they do that, people even go on YouTube to try to build their own houses, although I wouldn't recommend that. But you can go on a computerized program to get help. They were not made to help. They were made for people that already know what they're doing, which again, I have clients who only come to me when they need something complicated that they can't do. That means that they do their taxes. And now when they actually have issues that they cannot address, then they come to me. I'm perfectly okay with that so long as they know what they're doing. But what you don't want to do is you owe back taxes or you in trouble with the IRS and you go on some type of terrible tax. Not that I'm trying to throw them under the table here. Even themselves will tell you, no, I mean, we have professional tax preparer in our company to help you. So if you choose to actually just go ahead and spend $50 or $25 to figure out your tax problem on the software, I don't think that's the route to go. So please go see a professional tax expert, such as myself, such as a CPA, such as a lawyer, because they are people. So everybody in this tax world have their expertise. And you have people, I happen to be a registered agent, which allows me, I took classes with the IRS, which allows me to go defend a client who has issue with the IRS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Represent them on their behalf. And but you have people who can just prepare your taxes. If they've been doing this for long enough, they can give you better advice. So if you need help, please go see a tax professional. And that's for my Congolese people. Don't go see, Papa Pasteur or Noko, who said he did his own taxes and it works, but he can help you. Now, the issue with that is he did his own taxes because he didn't have issues. He did, especially if it was a simple tax preparation, meaning he worked one job, made about $20,000. That's the most easiest thing you can do. Although I think they still leave a lot of money on the table. I still do think
Yes.
that be in different, in another segment, we'll go into that. But don't go to that guy if you actually have issue with the IRS. No.
Absolutely. So how can we, those that are in help, those that are getting ready to file taxes, how can we get in touch with you?
So my information hopefully will be put into the video, the YouTube videos. Okay, thank you. And but Maximum Solution is my brand name on social media, both Facebook and Instagram. And maxirefund.com will be a website that you can go actually set up an account for if you want to be a potential client. And also maximumsolution.com is also a website where you can actually see a link for maxirefund.com to actually get all the information you need for taxes.
Okay.
But I want to mention one thing about help. Now, there is COVID-19. It's been around since 2011, but it's been revamped now with much more perks and opportunities. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative Program. So that is something good for people who actually right now are paying the IRS because they are in trouble because they owe IRS money for things that they did back in the day and they payment. Those people can now actually get a debt relief, meaning they can actually, actually get an offer in compromise term with the IRS. We call that the OIC, meaning you can talk to somebody like me or a tax professional, and we can renegotiate with the IRS and either just eradicate all your debt or reduce the amount of payment that you owe them.
Awesome. So you are based in Charlotte. Is it only for folks that live in Charlotte?
No, and because of technology today, we're trying to, again, that's why I gave you those platforms I mentioned earlier. We really want to go online based because I'm realizing that a lot of our community members are far from Charlotte and they need real help. So we really want to be able to reach out to people like that and help them remotely if possible.
Yes.
Because taxes, it's a federal thing, but of course on a state level, you also have a Internal Revenue Service, but that's usually not usually the issue. Usually the main issue is with the federal government. So with my tax credentials, IRS, I'm able to help somebody in California or in Rhode Island or Boston.
Oh, awesome. Mr. Bea, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us and educate us about this entire crazy tax process. Alrighty, you guys.
But it can be simplified when you're talking to the right person.
Guys, this is the end of our tax portion. I hope that you guys have learned a lot. Me, myself, I have learned so much. I will see you all in the next video. And as always, be blessed.